risk on our system, and we have done tremendous headway. We know which syndicates are involved. We have people of interest. The law enforcement agents are hot in their heels in terms of getting the implicated parties to account. In terms of the blacklisting, last year we have recommended 9 entities, including their directors, to be blacklisted. Recoveries, we have got 15 cases where we have recommended that there must be recoveries in the excess of 35 million to be recovered from those entities. In terms of reduction of backlog under consequence management, we have registered good progress. The number can show 81 there in terms of my presentation, but those are cases that already disciplinary panel have been created and people are undergoing the discipline. Corruption database. In terms of the corruption database, when we investigate you, because we are about to cash, we decide to resign. There are 92 people who have done so. We have put those people into our corruption database. Dismissal is 57. People that have retired is only 1%. But we have got 148 people on the city's database, ladies and gentlemen. Blacklisted companies, there are 32. This is my last slide, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, this conference took some important resolution. We wanted to report back in terms of what work has been done by the city to follow up on the resolution that were taken from last year's conference. We undertook to be deliberate in terms of creation of a platform to engage as stakeholders, particularly all the stakeholders that are involved in the fight against fraud by eThekwini municipality. We have monthly meeting that we sit in with the SAPS to track the progress of matters, and that engagement is yielding positive results. Ladies and gentlemen, there are cases that were closed, for instance, that were said to be undetected, but when we engage there, some of the cases have been reopened. They are under investigation. We have collaboration with MPA. We know there are cases that are prosecution guided as well. In cases where NPA has refused to continue prosecution, where they were of a view, will not be in a position to achieve successful prosecution. They declined to prosecute. They have finished us with reason why they have done so. On the fraud prevention program implemented, we have a citywide fraud risk register that is monitored at a strategic level. Continuous fraud risk assessment are conducted using different sources of information, including our case register, whistleblower report, AG funding, and consequence management schedule. Community engagement, already I have indicated that we have conducted 90 community engagement and the two events as well that I have already mentioned. Collaboration with strategic partners, business and tertiary institutions. We know that, ladies and gentlemen, that Ethekwini municipality is in partnership with UKZN. There was a memorandum that was signed. But at our level, as the directorate, we want also to piggyback on that relationship, to work together with the University of KwaZulu-Natal. There is a project, I know there is a conference that is arranged for the 4th of December 2025, wherein we are going to have a workshop. We want to collaborate in terms of developing a booklet that will talk about ethics, fraud, and corruption as well. In this conference, ladies and gentlemen, there are also students from university who are in the attendance. Duty to report. We are not going to take questions now. We have a WhatsApp number on the board. If you have any question that you would like to ask, you write that question and forward it to that WhatsApp number, and we'll deal with your question. Now we'll proceed, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of our agenda. I think we're doing fine in terms of time, I know. I have not seen it detailed. Okay. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be requesting His Worship Honorable Mayor, Councillor Vusimuzi Tlaba, to come to the platform. Before he ascends the platform, I just want to cover the following. Councillor Tlaba illustrates political career started early in his life as he engaged in politics at a very young age. He went on to serve in public office in various capacities for his entire adult life. Having grown up in Claremont and already developed a passion for activism, Councillor Tlaba was strongly influenced by his community, which was actively involved in the struggle for freedom. After the first democratic election in 1994, Councillor Tlaba was deployed to KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature, where he chaired various portfolio committees, which include public works, finance, economic and development, and ad hoc constitutional affairs. Also given the responsibility of being a chief whip. Councillor Tlaba left the legislature in 2009, and he was appointed to be a special advisor to the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Dr. Zweli Mkhize. Between 2010 to 2014, Councillor Tlaba was appointed chairperson of KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Planning Commission. After 2014 election, the ANC redeployed Councillor Xaba to the provincial legislature and was appointed as MEC of Agriculture and Rural Development. Before being elected, the mayor of eThekwini, Councillor Xaba, was a member of parliament and the chairperson of portfolio defense and military veteran. He also served as a co-chair of the Joint Standing Committee on Defense. In February 2023, Councillor Xaba was appointed the chairperson of the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Subcommittee of the ANC NEC. He was also appointed to be a chairperson of the National Dispute Resolution Committee. Councillor Xaba has impeccable academic background. He holds Masters of Law degree from University of Natal. He has also been involved in various international study tour, which has helped him gain international exposure. The mayor enjoys spending most of his spare time with his family and the people of Claremont. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome worship Ubaba Nonkosi by giving a round of applause. Ngiyabonga baba ngizosusa konke. Ngiyaphileka baba. Baba, thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, you are so quiet. It's like you want to hear corruption drops on the floor. Iti Cele, Executive Director Cele, Institute of Commercial Forensic Practitioners, CEO, Mr. Chris Dibibia, eThekwini Municipality Director for CIID, Mr. Jimmy Ngobo, and all senior officials present from all levels of government, provincial, national, and local. DPP, KZN, NPA Advocate Bulelwa Vimbani, Partner, Forensic Services, PwC, Advocate Nyati, Independent Consultant, Enterprise, Governance, Risk, Ethics, and Assurance, Mr. Philip Nzimani, Chairperson, Financial Misconduct Disciplinary Board, Advocate Makosini Nkosi, Director, Forensic at KZN Cocta, distinguished guests, partners, participants, and delegates, meant that from being diverted from the poor, it tells you about their close proximity. It's been, is that it gets into your DNA. You take your kids to best house you cannot afford to do salary. You drive. It is said to be rich and living peacefully. No. And I don't know where these proceeds are kept. No, I don't know where they are kept. Maybe the way they are kept is the reason why they can't be spent wisely. The next thing, they flaunt them. They buy this car and same model, only the color is different, and same model, and same model, and same model. He parks all of them in his garage. But he can only drive one in a day, not can only drive one in a day. But they're all there. You can see the fellow. You can see the fellow he wanted assets where he can offload the ill-gotten proceeds. He's dumping them on assets, and he hides them. That's the problem. And secondly, those people don't sleep at night. They have, they have a life that is troubled. As soon as he sees a vehicle going down his road, approaching his house, he panics. He thinks that here they come. Here they come. Because I can tell you my lesson with my experience of 30 years in public service. Some of these laws are part of developing them. That I don't think we are winning the battle. Don't think we are winning the battle. Even when people say, yes, that we read so much about fraud, so much about crime, is not largely because people have just gone crazy, but it's because we are unearthing it. We're unearthing it. Yes, but still, as we unearth it, people are still committing it. I'm not too sure if the deterrents are not strong enough to send a message, a very strong message to a would-be criminal, fraudster, that the net one day will close on him, will close on her. That is the problem. And strangely, politicians get co-opted into this thing. I'm saying, I want to repeat it. Politicians get co-opted into this thing. Co-opted by officials who want protection. Get co-opted because no politician, all the laws of the country have removed us from having our nose from our, yes, of having our hands on the till. Been removed. Whether you are at a provincial level, national level, at a local level, the purse is controlled by officials. The only time is I think I know the budget is when I go out to encourage people to pay. They come and present it and they give me all the good notes so as to encourage people to pay, go out. But soon after we are done with that and we've approved the budget, I said, no, but Kahle, yes, I've entrusted the resources in your hands, but you retain accountability on every single cent that you spend. That I must know. Every single, yes, I'm by law, I'm not allowed to poke my nose into your thing or to interfere with how you allocate resources, with how you spend the money. So with how you spend the money. But you retain accountability. And when you press accountability, that's where you see people sweating. But to amend the municipality, I'm not talking about the municipality, I'm talking general. Well, I'm just, what can I say about the municipality? I'm just about 13 years. I'm just about 13, 14 months in office. But I've been in government. I can speak chapter and verse because I've been in government. Then they sweat. Then they sweat. The day you, as a politician, you allow officials to do you favors, the day you allow officials to give you favors, forget it. You are never going to tell them anything. Never. I don't need anyone's favors. Don't need anyone's favors. That's the day you destroy yourself. But let me tell you, when they give you the favors, they take where they take it, and they give you so little. When you discover that they took so much and they gave you so little, then they say, and you say, no, but why were now me now? And then they say, interference. Interference. Hey, we are interferish. We are interferish. Can send tolene la puguti wena tola mina tola. Then they say it's interference. I know it very well, interference. So, Bagotu, let's win the war. Let's win the war, but we can only win the war if we start to enforce inlento abantu abachoka kuyona audit, yeah, lifestyle audit. We can only win the war if we start with lifestyle audit. We know you before. We know you now. I also know you after. We can then compare. That we know you before, we know you now, and suupi manch. Hey, the way is so resisted by government officials, you can't believe it. They resisted. Can't believe it. Even when it was said that all the officials in the SCM, supply chain management, all of them must be taken through the lifestyle audit. But I can tell you, if you go to any of the government institutions and check how many have subjected themselves to that process, you'll be disappointed as to the number of people who have come forward. I'm not too sure if there's any amongst you who have volunteered and said, we want to come forward. Don't know. Because we've got to start somewhere. We've got to start somewhere. If it has to come to mayors, I will be the first to volunteer. If it has to come to mayors, I'll be first to volunteer. Ukona. Then the question always, who amongst us will be prepared to come forward and say, I want to be amongst the first people to be treated. Because it's only when some of us, those who are ethical, come forward, that will close, you close the gap. That is being used by people who are taking advantage of the situation. And my experience in government is that when the ethical people who want to do good move to the margins, I can tell you they're in the majority. But for some reason, they easily just get to the margins and allow the unethical, to take the center stage. Take the center, wait until they're at the center. They terrorize everyone. They even, because there is no honor amongst themselves, they even fight amongst themselves. Because those have moved to the center. The ethical people who want to do, who mean well, who want to do good things, they've moved to the center. And unfortunately, so they move to the margins. Unfortunately, as they stay in the margins, they fall victims of these people because they also come for them. So it's unfortunately that situation that we faced in our country, but we can't think that only the law enforcement agencies that will help us deal with this. But it's when we emphasize the need for people to work ethically, to do good even when no one is noticing. That's basically appealing to the conscience of the people. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is no coincidence that we are meeting in this venue, named after Chief Albert Ituli, a global symbol of integrity and ethical leadership. Through his words and actions, Chief Ituli championed selfless service, honesty, and accountability. We must continue to draw inspiration from his legacy as we serve the people of eThekwini with dedication and integrity. Corruption remains a serious challenge in South Africa. According to 2024 Corruption Perception Index, the country is ranked number 82 out of 180 countries. The 2023 Afrobarometer survey indicates that more than 82% of citizens believe corruption has worsened. Furthermore, an estimated 27 billion rand is lost annually, money that could fund nutritional support programs for insecure households. This reaffirms a point that fraud and corruption is equivalent to stealing from the poor. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that we are saying when someone has been caught stealing from the public purse, that person should not only be arrested, but must also be made to refund the state. In other words, we must recoup the resources of the state. I'm encouraged to see such a diverse gathering of professionals, which include investigators, municipalities, face growing demands for transparency and clean government. There can be no accountability without transparency. Fraud, corruption, and maladministration weaken service delivery, erode public trust, and undermine our developmental mandate. Platforms like today's engagement strengthen our resolve and sharpen our collective strategies to confront these threats. As a city, we emphasize that fraud prevention is not just a compliance obligation. It is a governance imperative that directly affects service delivery. I want to commend the City Integrity and Investigations Directorates under the leadership of Mr. Jimmy Ngobo for their commitment to strengthening internal controls, promoting ethical conduct, and ensuring accountability. Some work is happening. Your work is central to safeguarding the credibility and resilience of our city. Ethical leadership remains one of our most effective tools in combating fraud and corruption. When leaders embody integrity, transparency, and accountability, these values become embedded throughout the institution. Let me repeat this. When leaders, by leaders I also mean senior executives. When leaders embody integrity, transparency, and accountability, these values become embedded throughout the institution. We must therefore continue to invest in leadership development, strengthen consequence management, and ensure that those entrusted with active partners in safeguarding public resources speak out without fear. We reinforce the social compact between the municipality and the people we serve. Ladies and gentlemen, today's program is rich and thought-provoking. It tackles critical issues such as professionalism in the public sector, forensics investigations. Integrity is everybody's responsibility. Every official practitioners. We must embrace innovation. We must embrace innovation, invite those who stand up for truth and justice. Above all, we must ensure that the people of eThekwini and South Africa can trust that public resources are managed responsibly and in their best interest. Looking ahead, our success in combating fraud, how boldly we adopt technology, innovation, and preventative systems. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, and digital monitoring tools offer new to I really want to extend my sincere appreciation to all speakers and contributors who have been selected to make this seminar a success. Your insight will guide the work ahead and help shape a more accountable future for us all. I'm sure after this you are going to give me a round of applause. I wish you productive, strengthened partnerships, and renewed commitment as we continue the fight against fraud and corruption. I thank you so much.
Before you go, Babu Mayor, this is a gift for you.